Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing a serious topic, so it's gonna be less of goofing around and more of seriousness. Okay, so before we move on, I just want to share my love. I love you to all the subscribers that have joined the Kuda family, the Kuku family. Okay, I love you, I appreciate you. Yeah, because it gives me courage. Like, I'm not talking to myself, like, you know. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about domestic violence. So disclaimer, this information that I'm going to be sharing is information that I've searched, that I know from just living J. It's information that that we talk about in our everyday lives. So I'm not a certified psychologist, I'm not a certified social worker, I'm not a certified anything. The only experience that I have is that I have a psychology degree. That's it. So before you come in with, oh, she's sharing wrong information, oh, she's doing this and that, I just researched and I just thought, you know what, this can help somebody. So after watching this video, you can share to you can share to someone, right? One, you can research on your own. You can ask professionals, certified people, social workers, psychologists, psychotherapists, doctors about domestic violence and get the full details. So this is just my research before anyone comes in, could I have doing? Okay, so we're gonna define what is domestic violence. So I googled, yes, because Google, yeah. So I googled the definition for domestic violence. So I'm gonna be reading from my notebook, yes, because I'm traditional. Okay, so let's game face, let's goofing around. So what is domestic violence? Domestic violence is a violent or aggressive behavior within the home. Typically involves the violent abuse of a spouse or partner. This can result in physical injury, sexual or mental injuries. Okay, so this, domestic violence, like, from the word domestic, is within the home, within our family, within our marriages, relationships, because there are people that live in couples, that's where domestic violence is. Okay, good. Okay, so the statistics. So I googled statistics and I this is a rough number. Of course, these are not the exact number. Less people come like, that's not the number, it decreased, it increased. This is the number that I got from doing my research. Okay, so right now the number of cases of domestic violence have increased during this pandemic, during Corona. So they've increased, they say, from 400 per month. Now they are 732 cases, in 2 weeks. So they've increased because people now are in quarantine, lockdown at home, spending more time together. Good. Okay, so this is during this pandemic, the cases have risen to 30% plus, because now people are spending more time together. Okay, so we're going to talk about how does domestic violence happen? Where does domestic violence stem from? So this is just a rough idea. So I'm going to be doing a series of breaking down all the details of domestic violence. So I'm just going to run through. So domestic violence stems from physical abuse, it stems from sexual abuse, It stems from psychological abuse. It stems from economic abuse. It stems from intimidation, when your spouse is intimidating you or your partner. It stems from harassment. You can be harassed by your spouse, your partner, your one. Okay. It stems from stalking. Those people that just stalk you everywhere you are, your social media, they stalk it, they stalk you, your everything, your house, your mother, your father, everything. That's another form of, that's where domestic violence can stem from. Okay, it can, another way in which domestic violence can stem from is from forcible entry into the victim's house, especially if people are divorced, and then the divorced husband then comes and then forces their way into the house. They'll be like saying, no, this is my house too, stuff like that. Okay, so another way is depriving access to things, depriving access maybe to the house, depriving access to a car, depriving access to so many things that the partners share or the spouses share. So that's another way in which domestic violence stems from. Okay, so it can also stem from someone who's got a controlling behavior. They can control who you talk to, controlling, they want, someone who's too controlling. Okay, that's another way in which domestic violence can stem from. So we're going to move on to what you can do as a person who's being victimized. What can you do? So number one is to get a protection order. So you can get a protection order at the police, from a judge. Okay, so number two is to report to police. So in Zimbabwe, there is the victim friendly unit, which deals with issues like domestic violence, child abuse, and all that. So you can report to the police, and they can refer you to the victim friendly unit. Okay, correct me guys, some of the information I just did the research, so professionals can correct me through the comments. Okay, so you can take them to court. This is, you can take a protection order, or you can take them to court. Say now you want to divorce them and you want to share the property and all that stuff. Okay, so you can also go to shelters. There are shelters, I don't know in other countries, but in Zimbabwe there are shelters that cater for victims of domestic violence. So in Zimbabwe we've got the Musasa project, which caters for women and children that are victims of domestic violence. Also, there's a legal aid for those that cannot afford legal fees. So in most countries, well, in Zimbabwe, there is, through my research, I discovered that there is a legal aid. The states provide, legal aid for people who cannot afford maybe lawyers or people that represent them when they are taking the abuser to court, or when they are doing a protection order. Okay, so there are also hotlines which you can call. This differs in depending on the country you're in. I'm still yet to find the hotline. And Musasa project can also help you. It can also be a hotline if you are a victim of domestic violence. I'm still yet to discover other hotlines that you can call right away. Say it's happening like right now, that you can call right away if you're suffering from domestic violence. Okay, so that's the individual. What we as a family can do. So as a family, we can support the victim to go and report the case. So many times people don't report these cases. Why? Because there's no support. They feel like if they just do it alone, they have this fear that comes from many things, socialization. What will people think? Fear from the abuser themselves. So family can help others, to go and report. Family can also help after the person has reported the case. So many times people do not report the case because they know someone who reported, and when they reported, family shunned them, the community shunned them. So we as family, if you know somebody who is suffering from domestic violence, we can help by simply supporting them after they've they reported the case, and not be going like, oh, so you are now happy that your husband is in jail or something like that. Okay, so we can support after they have reported. Okay, so community can also help by just reporting cases of domestic violence. So I know sometimes people, you'll be like, Kuda, those people don't even want you to report to them. But I feel like sometimes someone maybe is too scared to report. Maybe even the family might not even know, but the community might know and they can help. Okay, though there's a risk that the victim can even blame you and say, why did you do that? You want my marriage to fail or something like that. So I'll discuss in my other video, why is it people refuse help, or why is it they stay in a violent relationship or marriage. That's it today, guys. Watch look out for other series that I'm going to be doing on domestic violence, because I didn't want the video to be too long, else you are not going to listen. So thank you guys for watching. Hope to see you next time. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Love you. Bye.